Hello, everybody. This is Susan Williams from Susan's Discount Travel. And this is, I think, my third week of doing uh, Marvelous Mondays, travel tips, and updates. And sorry it's so late today. My Monday got away from me, and I ended up going out for dinner with a very good friend of mine. So I'm a little late in getting you your travel tips and updates, but I wanted to make sure that we ended our Monday marvelously. So I wanted to share you some updates that I have for this week, because each week, as a certified travel agent, I get notified of different things that are happening in the travel world and fun things, good things, and things that are going to help you expand and have some fun this year. And I wanted to share with you something that probably a lot of you don't know, but there's a lot of places where, when you travel and you have a layover, did you know that during your layover, sometimes you can extend it and do a stopover instead and stay in that layover for up to 7 days? And how I first found out about this, I have to give credit to my daughter, Nicole. Her and her husband had gone to Iceland for their honeymoon. And I was traveling, I think I was going to England at the time, and I was traveling on Icelandair, and I had already booked my flight. And my daughter said to me, "Mom, you're traveling Icelandair. Why don't you do a stopover?" I said, "What do you mean? What's a stopover? What is this all about?" She said, "Because Icelandair wants to promote tourism in Iceland, if you have a layover in Iceland, you can extend it for up to 7 days and visit Iceland, do all that, and then catch your adjoining flight without any extra cost." I said, "You're kidding." And I said, "Nicole, why would I want to do a stopover in Iceland?" And she said to me, "Mom, go and Google the Blue Lagoon." So I did. I went and I Googled the Blue Lagoon, and it was all over. If any of you are not familiar with the Blue Lagoon, Google it. It is phenomenal. And it's very popular. It's amazing. So I was coming from England. I had been in England for 6 weeks, and I really wanted to get home. But when I saw the Blue Lagoon, I thought, "Oh my goodness, I've got to at least go to it." So I had already booked my ticket. And the trick to this is you need to do this when you're booking your ticket. But I had already booked it, and I did call them, and they said for no charge, I could extend my ticket. So I extended it a day. I found an Airbnb, and actually, I used that Airbnb twice because I did on two different times through the last 5 years. I did stopovers in Iceland, and I used the same Airbnb because he had such a great location. I stayed in two of his locations, and it was such a great experience that I utilized him twice. But so what I did is I had my layover in Iceland, got my luggage, paid my Airbnb guy a fee, and he picked me up at the airport, and we went to the Blue Lagoon. He brought me to the Blue Lagoon, dropped me to his Airbnb, and then brought me for a fee to the Blue Lagoon. I had made reservations, and the Blue Lagoon was amazing. Oh my goodness. Google it. You will want to visit it. And I cannot wait to go back. But anyway, so I did that. And then the next day I checked out of my Airbnb. He brought me to the airport, and I traveled back home. And it was the coolest thing to do. And so how you would do this, if you're going to book, is when you purchase tickets via Icelandair website, you can select round trip one way or Icelandair stopover when you begin your flight search. Now, when you choose Icelandair stopover, you'll be led step by step through the process, which works just like booking any other plane ticket. And you can stay into Iceland for up to 7 days without any additional fees to your flight between the US and Europe. And you're saying, well, what could I do in Iceland? And my regret was that I didn't stay longer in Iceland. I only stayed overnight because I wanted to go to the Blue Lagoon. I hadn't been home for like, I think at that point I was in England for 8 weeks and I really wanted to get home. But my regret was not staying a few more days in Iceland. And the reason being is there's so much to see in Iceland. Of course, you could visit the famous Blue Lagoon. You could soak in the off-beaten path hot springs. You could see the Northern Lights if it's at the right time of the year. You could take a road trip on Iceland's Ring Road. You could eat fermented shark if it's something that's on your list that you've never done before. You could drink Icelandic beers. You could tour the Museum of Icelandic, the museums in Icelandic. You could go ice climbing, and you could visit the Library of Water. So those are just a few of the things that you can do. You can also go shopping. I got some really cool mittens when I was there. I still use them in the winter, and they're from Iceland, and it was kind of cool. Um, one thing that I do want to mention, and at the time when I went to the Blue Lagoon, I bought some of their, when you walk around in the Blue Lagoon, they have this white mud in buckets and it's silica. It's supposed to be very good for you. So people are walking around in this Blue Lagoon and they all have white faces because they have this on their face. It's very good for you. And of course, I bought a tube of it to bring home, and it was quite expensive. But you know, you had to bring it to get your VAT. You know, you had to. They said you had to go and bring it to get them to record. You get your tax money back on it. So I did that without realizing it was over the ounces to carry on. And so when I went to get on the airplane, they were going to confiscate it. I was like mortified because I spent so much money on it, but they allowed me to, they packaged it and threw it on the belt. And fortunately, I came home with it. So just if you're going to buy anything at the Blue Lagoon, make sure if it's over the ounces for carry-on that you pack it in your luggage. So just so you know, Icelandair is not the only one that does the stopovers. Turkish Airline also offers a stopover program where you can go in Istanbul for free on almost every ticket fare class, so long as you meet the requirements. I have not been able to do that yet. I have traveled Turkish Air, and I have to say Turkish Air was really wonderful. I had my doubts about traveling Turkish Air, but after I traveled with them, I would definitely travel Turkish Air again. It was the only place where you got real silverware with your meals, and there was a chef on board, and he's walking down the aisle with his little chef hat, and I was like, oh my goodness, they have a chef. How cool is that? But they also offer a stopover. Which is pretty cool. I wasn't able to do it at the time, though I did have a lot of fun shopping in the airport marketplace. Oh, there was so many cool things, and the prices were so good. I came home with rose water for my face. I came home with these cool table coverings, and the prices were just, you couldn't pass them up. So the marketplace at the airport was pretty cool. But if you do the stopover, if you're flying Turkish Airlines internationally for basically anywhere on their network, you're guaranteed to be pretty much flying through Turkey en route to your final destination. And so that means you'll end up at the hub in Istanbul. And that is a really awesome city, and it's someplace that I do want to visit at some point when it's good to visit. But when you're there, here's some things if you decide to do that. You want to make the distinction between a stopover and a layover, as Turkish Airline uses the phrase stopover interchangeably, and that causes some confusion. But it has two different programs targeting transit passengers. One of the programs is aimed at passengers who have around 6 to 24 hours of layover in Istanbul, while the other is aimed at passengers who wish to spend a day or two in Istanbul before continuing on their journey. In short, they're two similar but very different concepts. And one of the things is what I wanted to mention is let's see, if you have, let's see, where was it? There was really something cool about Turkish Airlines, that if you have the stopover, what did it say here? That trying to think where it was. I lost my train of thought because it's so late this evening. But if you have an organic layover of more than 6 or 12 hours, the airline will provide either a city tour or a hotel and transit between, free of charge. And a lot of times this is buried and never advertised, but it is something that is out there. So I wanted to share those stopovers for Icelandair and Turkish Airlines. And of course, there are some with other airlines as well that you may not even know about. But it's always good to check, because sometimes it's an extra adventure, right? Because if you stay over in Iceland, for instance, you may want to try some of their really different food that they have there. So this is Susan Williams from Susan's Discount Travel. I can help you in your travel needs, and I wanted to just share with you some travel updates and tips today on Marvelous Monday. So I will see you next week, and have a great week. Have fun, and let's plan some traveling as we're coming out of COVID. Bye-bye for now.